Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we are talking the Week 15 game preview for the Browns at Cardinals. Over-under for this one is actually kind of high at 49. Right now the spread is about 3, so the Browns are favored to win this one on the road. I think that is right about where this game will hit. I think there will be a decent amount of points scored. I'm not expecting a shootout by any means, but I'm liking the offensive side of both teams in this game. For those of you that are working late nights and just trying to keep your fantasy team together, we'll give you a quick rundown. Recommending a start for Mayfield and Murray at the quarterbacks. Running backs, we're starting Chubb and Hunt. We're second guessing our starts if we have Drake or David Johnson. Wide receivers, we're starting Landry, Odell Beckham Jr, and Christian Kirk, but we're sitting Larry Fitzgerald and any other option for Arizona. We're second guessing any start for David Njoku, and we're not starting Charles Clay. We're not looking to start either defense in this one either, so let's get into why. Looking at the Browns side first, Baker Mayfield last week, definitely disappointed if you started him, but I think we can go right back to the well on this one. Cardinals allow the most points to the fantasy quarterback, and even Devlin Hodges was able to have a decent game against him. I'm not panicking from last week. I think Mayfield is a great stream this week. On the running back side, Hunt has continued to steal Chubb's thunder and has remained in every week. Low running back 1 with a really good floor because of the amount of volume in the passing game, but I think that Chubb is still a really good start this week as well. I like both of these running backs to be low running back 1s, high running back 2s this week. Definitely worth a start. On the receivers side, Arizona allows 6th in fantasy points to the wide receiver, so Landry should have a nice bounce back week. He's been consistent most of the season. I think that Landry is going to have a really good game. And I really like Odell Beckham in this one as well. I know he's dealing with that sports hernia, and he's really just been an overall disappointing season for Odell Beckham. This is something that we've seen pretty consistently with wide receivers coming on from a different team. Their first year, they're pretty rusty and they struggle, but next year, definitely going to be a better year for Odell Beckham. But at least this week, if you have Odell Beckham, I think you can start it with confidence. On the tight end side of the ball, Arizona can't defend the tight ends. We know that, so Njoku should be an easy start, but Njoku is still working back after coming back from IR, so he's still not really in sync with the offense. He hasn't really played with them for more than really 2.5 games this year, so while I think he's a decent upside desperation play, if you have absolutely no one else, like if you only have Evan Ingram and there's no one else on the waiver wire, I think David Njoku has a chance at having a decent game, but it's not someone I'd like to rely on. And then on the defensive side, the Browns on the road might be an okay start considering how badly Arizona's O-line has been, but I expect Arizona to put up more of a fight this week, especially with the higher over-under. I'm looking to not play either defense in this game. All right, let's look at the Cardinals. The Browns are likely to go up in this one. Cardinals defense isn't very good at preventing teams from scoring, and I think that's going to a trend that will continue in this game. I think Murray's a fine play in this one. I know he's had a few down weeks. We're definitely hoping for a rebound here because the last few weeks have really just been ugly, but I think the Browns defense are nowhere near the same prowess as we saw with the Rams and the Steelers, so I think Murray has a nice game this one. Browns are middle of the road against the running backs in the season. I think they're number 16 on the season, and this backfield just kind of remains a mess for fantasy. Kenyan Drake hasn't looked great over the past couple weeks, and David Johnson got the receiving touchdown last week. I don't think that the usage will continue to trend too far away from Drake being the main guy, but I'm not really excited to start either running back in this one. If you had to start one, I would take Drake over DJ, but I'm looking to go elsewhere if I can. I think there's a few decent pickups this week on the waiver wire that I'd start over them. Looking at the wide receivers, the Browns are also middle of the road in basically every category, but same goes for the wide receivers. I'm not really looking anywhere other than Kirk. If you have Christian Kirk, you're playing him. He has a really nice floor, especially in PPR, and he always carries that explosive ceiling of just being able to go off for 3 touchdowns again like he did. So I think Kirk is a great play this week, but I'm not looking at Fitz or anyone else on the Cardinal side of the ball for the receivers. I'm not chasing the Charles Clay touchdown either. If we see that consistently, then that's someone that we can consider maybe next year, but there's not a tight end worth playing in Arizona. And
I don't think you're ever really comfortable starting Arizona defense. You're definitely not doing that this week. Anyway, hope you guys found this helpful. We'll continue to post our start-sit game previews for the rest of Week 15 and throughout the rest of the season. And we hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next one.